So I'm gonna continue the refactor. I'm not satisfied with the way this main part works. It's not strictly bad. I mean, I use dependency injection for the class cmemgzip, for example. But I do a lot of validations with the argutils class that are outside, and I avoid injecting as dependency to the cmemgzip class. And then I call a method which is compress with some parameters. Well, that's not the way I normally will do this. I created this way because I created this, the first version, very experimental, because I wanted basically to make sure that I could do what I wanted to do. So initially I was not using parameters, I was not using arguments. I was using just the basic functionality I required. So I was not even using file utils or string utils for the very first proof of concept. And then I evolved from there to normal standards. The main problem with this is that this part is difficult to test. It's outside the class. And I think that the best will be to be consistent that the logic is on the cmemgzip class. So what I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna modify the constructor on cmemgzip so it accepts another dependency injection. And then I will move all this logic to some sort of method that is called validate parameters or alike. And probably I will refactor this compress method to another name like main or something like that, because this compress doesn't only compress, does a lot of things, like it checks that the permissions to write are okay. It checks the sizes of the file compressed, so the object compressed in memory, so it should be smaller than the original file, and does a lot of checkings and printings. So probably I will change that, but to begin I will inject argutils. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to the constructor. Now I accept this parameter. I define here as well. So like this, we'll consider an static, but I do for clarity. So I know in other languages we are forced to define on top the variables. So I like to make sure that everything that we use is defined. And this is the way I use. We know in Python those are statics for real, and what makes them class variables, instance class variables, it's defining with self. So I'm doing the same in the constructor, where I get the dependency injected, and then I set as an instance variable class. Okay, so now we are getting our utils. I'm gonna create something like main. Okay, let's do this. Self, and I will get no arguments. All right. So basically I will call main instead of all this, and I'm gonna refactor all of this, extract all that functionality to just main. So that will be basically, I'm gonna take all of this and oh, I took too much. Here, this first. Okay. So I'm gonna do this, and then I will do dot main, and I'm gonna move this to main. Yeah, sorry for the beep beep beeps, but I have some Python students and they really like to learn, and they are raising some questions because I send them exercises, and sorry for that. Okay, so we have main, and I'm gonna just move this block in here. So now, nice. Now this looks much more better, and is doing the same. I'm gonna just change this to self, and this is not necessary anymore because we already instantiated in the Python part on the bottom. I mean the non-object oriented programming part. So this is not necessary, and the object o cmemgzip, o cmemgzip is just self. So okay, I need to do a few changes in here. Let me see that I didn't screw it, which it could be. So okay, so this should be self, this should be self. All right. This not. And okay, looks like okay. Let me try the tests. Oh yeah, I broke something. Obviously, yeah, I broke the test. That's why I always run the test, and you should do the same after a modification, because many times we think, oh no, I did it well, but okay, you didn't, or I didn't. I mean, I forgot that modifying that will have effects and crash something. So okay, so I'm gonna define here argutils. Okay. All right. And as I change the constructor, perfect, equal. Okay, this will be the same in all the tests. So I'm gonna replace with the right signature or right call. Okay. Okay. Well, here is a bit different. Here. All right. So all right. What else here? Here. Okay. Okay, nice. So let's try this. Oh, I broke more things than I believed. All right, missing. Okay, so I missed one of the constructors. Also here. Ah, my mistake. Cool. So should work now. Oh, unbound local error. Damn it. All right. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Okay, here we go. So now I have this main, and clearly I can break this main. One functionality which is clear is the parameters parse. So I should be able to parse this. Okay. Okay. So this, okay. This will check if I do like that. This will validate the parameter m for memory. If I take this as well, it will validate help, and if take this as well, it will validate the simulate. So what I need for real is the simulate. I need the file name, and I need this variable as well. So, and then, okay, so, and this is the header. Okay, this I can keep, and this, all of this is the part of parameter validation. So I can extract this, and I will git git refactor extract method name will be validate parameters or exit. So the input parameters, I don't need input parameters because the argutils it deals with the parameters array already, and the output variables, yeah, will be those three. Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. Lovely. Well, it compressed a bit, but it's okay. validate the input parameters or exit if they are wrong. There is something one colleague pointed to me, that is that I should validate that they didn't pass a parameter which is not valid or has a typo, and that's a very good point, Edu. Thanks. So I'm gonna put this validate typos in parameters. My library for dealing with arguments is very powerful and very flexible, and allow us to send several files, parameters mix, a lot of combinations. But it's true that I'm not validating that I can only pass certain arguments. I have ways to do it, but it's a to do. Okay. And the return parameters will add to the documentation. So will be this. Okay. Lovely. Another advantage of this is that now I can mock as well the parameters, because I can mock the arguments class that I use, the argutils. So I will be able to test with different input parameters, and that will be a very good improvement in reliability for the parameters in the code. Nice. Okay. So we are not fearful. We don't chicken run from the troubles. So I'm gonna validate. I'm gonna add unit testing for this. Okay. So far so good. Okay. So I'm gonna start testing this. The first case I'm gonna validate is no parameters at all. And then what I need is the same as always. Okay. And then I should run. Well, I don't want to test mine. In this, I want to test the validate. All right. And this should return the 3 parameters that I mentioned before. Well, it should return if it works, but in this case it will just leave, because before we will reach the case where there is the length of the arguments paste is 0. So we will reach this part. So we will have the help, basically, the help screen. All right. So those are the parameters I expect, but I will never get them. What I will get is a pytest exception. So this thing. So I'm gonna do this, and then also I'm gonna validate this is exit. Okay, I should validate the help as well. I should validate the help. Okay. Let's go step by step. We're gonna run this with code coverage. Oops. What's going on? argutils is not defined. Show me. Oh yes, that's true, because this is self. Okay, so thanks God I did the unit testing, because you see I did a refactor that looked okay to me, and I bypassed that I was breaking. Actually, I was breaking the code, because argutils is not available in this context. I have to refer to it as self, or redefine pointing to self, whatever. Will be a bit dirty, but so basically I screwed with the refactor. It's normal. It's and that's a real situation. It's 9:48 p.m. at night, and I push myself to do this because I want to help the advance of some colleagues and students. But I'm more tired than the usual, and that's something real that can happen to you during the day. You can be tired for whatever reason. Maybe you have children, and the baby's or the baby is like crying at night and wake up every hour, and you are going crazy and very tired, and you have to work in code. So each measure of protection for the reliability of code, it's amazing. It's great. Could be the last line of defense. Could be unit testing. Also the prefix I use for the variables, the empty notation. It could be Jenkins doing continuous integration. So everything that you can add that checks for the quality of the code and the reliability is great. All right, so let's do it again. All right, I made another mistake. Seems. Let's see. Oh, did not raise. Okay, I see. What's the thing? The thing is that when no parameter is sent, the logic of my program is that this is not a fail. This is just you didn't pass a parameter. I will show the help. So the error code to exit is 0. That's something that we can discuss, or you can agree or not. I saw different behavior from different programs, and what is the worst is that some programs change that behavior. I remember I had a tool, I created a tool written in Python, written in Python, sorry, and then I guided some people that were maintaining that tool, and the tool was invoking smartctl help just to verify if the binary was on the system and available in the path. And what it expected is to get a 0 as exit code, but it happened that a new version was pushed, and then it returned an error code if you didn't pass any parameter or you pass help. So that made our unit testing fail, because I was enforcing that check for real for that dependency. But that was great, because we discovered that if the systems would have suffered an update, our program will have failed to detect that smartctl. So, well, that was a very specific program, and in fact the customer requested a closed version and was never to update the boxes. This was going to run in many boxes dedicated to storage that had no connection to the internet. But anyway, that shows that can be wrong. Could be a bad idea to change the error code on a program that is consolidated and running in many systems, to change the error code or to change when it raises an error code, especially on the help. So whatever, I decided not to raise an error code when there is no parameter or they ask for help parameter. So I have to honor this. So this really is not like that. I don't expect any exception then. And what I expect is the system to exit clean. So I really don't have anything to assert in this case. Yeah. I really don't have anything to assert because I using the exit here, which I don't like much. I don't like to exit inside methods. I could do a helper, but let's keep it clean. So it will exit here basically, and there will be no exception. So I cannot, in this case, I cannot catch an exception, and I cannot get any returning value. So if I run now, this will work, but I'm not asserting anything, which is like, okay, I'm covering this case, but I'm not asserting anything. This is covered. This is not. Okay, so I think it's a good moment to improve this. That original scene that I created when I evolved that script to object-oriented, more reliable program, and it's time to fix those things. So let's do a bit different. So by the moment, my approach will be to return a variable okay, my approach will be different. First, we'll extract this. Okay, I will extract this or specifically, I will extract this to a validation method for the parameters. Which can be all right. Yeah, I'm gonna extract this, but I will keep this because I will need it. So I'm extracting this. All right. Yeah, you can see I'm tired because it's difficult for me to locate the place where it's refactor and extract method. So, okay, I'm gonna okay, is parameters empty. Let's call like this. Yeah, is not, no, I don't need this parameter because I'm gonna catch it. And I will return a boolean is file name. Oh, mistake. I made a mistake. I want the file name because I'm gonna use it. So what I want to know for real is if there are no files on the parameters, and if there are files, what's the name? So what I want to assert for sure is the file name. So I will return a file name. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna call get file name from parameters. All right. And I don't want this because I'm catching it there, and I will return yeah, I remember I created this thinking about that the tool can receive more than one file, but for real this a underscore files is not only for files, it also holds the rest of the arguments, so it should be called arguments for real. So oh, I see. and I created this method which is get list of args without dash. Sorry, so there is no dash in here. So all that we get is that the possible files. So okay, I want to keep this for a future functionality, but by the moment I want to refactor, just to extract this functionality from here so I can test it. And okay, fine. I'm gonna change the order of this. As I mentioned yesterday, I want the small thing first and the list after. This is what I have to change. Okay, add some documentation, give some breath, some air. Okay. So what I have to do here is to make sure that the file name is defined, because otherwise I'm returning something not defined. Okay. So now we can test this. Okay. I'm gonna put this in my list. But first let's fix the other thing. All right. And this is not used anymore. Fantastic. So okay. Yes. So the file name still works. Those are variables that I initialize, so I prefer to put on top, like for the same, for consistency with the style that I show always. Okay, so when we call validate parameters or exit, it will get into there and it will end showing the help. Oh, so no, it's not it's not in the help. So I see if nothing is sent, then so it seems like I'm checking something somewhere else. Let's check this. The simulate is false. Assert imem equals 0. Assert s file name should be an empty string. All right. Okay. So what's tell me? For which one? Okay, so when I pass no parameter, file name has a value, which is the value of the script. And that's very dangerous because it could try to compress itself. So then in here, well, in main, let me show the structure. Okay, it's in here, but let's sort alphabetically. Okay, so in main, I'm trying to get the first file name. Then here checking simulate. So if I run this, okay. Now I have to debug because honestly, I don't think where I'm validating that and it's running this, so I need to debug. So okay, let's debug. Okay. 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 Oh, here. All right. Still here file name get file from parameters was empty, and when I was testing my method was not empty. So let's gonna debug this. Stop. Get file from parameters. Put a breakpoint in here. Yeah, okay. I will clear this breakpoint anyway. Okay, let's see. Okay, so a files is nothing. Okay, so file name is empty. So tell me. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, so it's validated there. All right. So that only means that the way that pytest is checking the arguments is different. Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah, what a mistake. Okay, nice. Yeah, we learn a lot of stuff doing things like this in deep. We learn a lot of stuff. So you will see pytest is calling the script. Where is it? Yeah, launching pytest with arguments, and I'm sure that in here the arguments we are capturing. Yeah, this is part of the arguments we are capturing. Okay. Okay, that's why I like to have argutils and the ability to inject it, and also argutils allows the constructor. Well, first let's do uh, let's do a simple test like argutils, like at the back. We'll see. So I think it's the list of arcs what I do. So let's just run that, and you will see. Okay, we should have the output somewhere. Yeah, so this is the output. Okay, so yeah, this is the arguments or that we are catching. We are catching the arguments that are being sent to pytest. So in this case, it's very nice that I mock. Well, that I have an injection, a dependency that I can inject, which is argutils. And as I created argutils, it's not even necessary to monkey patch it, because I can use an external array instead of sysarg. So I'm gonna just pass an empty array, or to make it more clear, I will do like this. So it's more clear for the testing. And then I will say, what is it? Okay. Yeah. Okay, it's an array of strings, so normally I call them a underscore s. Okay, cool. So now this should work. And it's a good thing that we discovered that. Oh, damn it. Refactor. So I'm gonna finish this and I will end here because I'm very tired. And it's not good working like that. So okay. Okay, let's see what's the error. The help is printed. Okay. And now it raises. Yeah, now it raises the. Now it raises the error. Okay. Let's go step by step. First thing. Okay, I'm gonna comment this. This is a cheap way to comment very very quickly. PyCharm supports also to comment a block, but I'm gonna add unit testing for this small unit. Main, validate parameters or exit, and this get file name from parameters. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna validate this. I'm gonna add tests to this. Get file name from parameters, and this is the return. Okay. Okay. So this is same. Get file name from parameters. No parameters. Unexpected indent. Oh yes, my bad, my fault. Yeah, because it's inside the class. All right, so parameters is empty. Yeah, too many blank lines. Yeah. Okay, and then get file name from parameters, and this is what we expect. Okay, and I have to prepare dinner yet, so that's a bit late. All right, so now we can assert the file name is empty, which is the who it should be, and we can assert that no files have been sent. So len a file, sorry, it's equal 0, and this is another typo because I'm tired. Right, okay. Cool. So this passed the test. Oh no, you see that it's in red. That means that there is no code coverage, and what happens is has not been executed because I made a mistake. I forget to add test before. Well, I have told you 2 times, so it's the 3rd time to tell. It's not good idea to work too tired. I thought it was a good idea and it will be more fresh, and I will do a good thing to help my colleagues and friends, but I could not forget about myself. I have to rest as well and to have dinner and watch Netflix or play video games. So, okay. Cool. Now it is as it should be. Now here we can see a coverage for the happy path, the simple path that where no files are provided. But at least we tested and we discovered one file before that file name was not initialized and was returned. So okay, only this case has to be tested, and I want to finish it. One parameter, and then S file name should be my file.txt, and the length of the argument should be 1. Let's run this. So another thing that I can do, and not everybody knows that, is that we can run a test with debug. So I'm gonna do this, and it stops in my breakpoint. So here I want to see what's going on. Get file name from parameters. Okay, the list is empty. That's cool. If file name is empty, yeah, that should not be empty. So then I found a bug in my class for arguments, apparently. So I'm going to stop this. So for some reason it seems like it's ignoring the argument, apparently. So is there somewhere where I'm hard coding this? No. So oh, I know why. I know why. I know there is not a bug. I know what happens. The method get, where is it? Get file name from parameters. It ignores the parameter 0 because it's the name of the script when it's invoked from command line. But as I fake the array, then the parameter 0 is ignored anyway. So okay, so yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good catch. Good example. So parameter 0 is the name of the Py script invoked. So I have to put it anyway. It will be removed, but I have to put it anyway. So now the test will work. And I'm hungry. So it has to work. Yeah. Okay. So it has been a bit disaster of session, but has been real. And it's great because you learn what things I did wrong, what things you can do wrong too. You can face the same things. Why is a good idea to create a program well from the beginning? Because yeah, I created an experimental script as version 0.1, and then I built a proper program, but few parts were like the old way and too big, and I waited to the end to add unit testing. As first I added my libraries, and they are completely tested, so most of my code was tested, the code that is using the libraries, but not the new code. So okay, it's I think it's a nice session because it shows real problems. Because some people like pretend to show something that is amazing and easy and where butterflies and flowers fly, and it's not like that. When you refactor, you can screw it. You have to be very carefully. It's a good idea to, after every refactor, do the proper unit testing and then make sure it is working a branch. I mean, don't commit that until you are completely sure that everything works. So cool. So we learn a lot of stuff. Thanks. Okay.